Hello, beautiful people. I think you can see my microphone a little bit. I think that's okay. Hi, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Energy Geek Speak. Thank you very much for checking us out here at Evolve Within Love group channel on the tube that is you. So welcome. As you can see, I'm on the road. I'm starting to pack up, and the next couple of sessions will be Christine, Marguerite, me, and Love Evolve Energy in transit. But I did want to just check in. I'm just doing once a week a kind of check in. And I'm really working it like alive. So I'm just speaking off the cuff and unpacking a little bit about some of the things that have come up. I do have my notes over here. Some of the things that are going on within the world of energy that I've noticed, particularly in my practice. Now, last time we were here, hopefully you can hear me okay. Last time we were here, I told you that the next time I was up in Energy Geek Speak, I was going to begin to unpack this concept of awakening that I have adopted. I think I'm going to hold off on that. I have to be in a particular mind state for that. And it's really very philosophical and is predicated upon not just my personal experience and a map that I go by, but something that I have adopted from a lot of my Buddhist meditation practice. So there's that. So we may hold off. What I did want to get into was a couple of things in terms of two things maybe. I think I might go a little bit longer this time. I'm trying to keep them about 30 minutes, but maybe I'll go a little bit longer. We'll see how it goes. Oh, and before I get too far into this stuff, check down below at the different places you can find me if you want to do some energy work, if you're an energy worker or a light worker and you want some support or guidance in moving forward with your practice. Personally and professionally, I'm your girl. Other than that, we have a lot of divine light energy work offerings on my website. So come and check that out. The link's below, loveevolveenergy.com. You can also go to my Facebook business page. The link is below. I have regular lives in the Lightworkers Lab on Monday afternoons, twice a month, and about every week in Soulful Connections. And once in a while, I'm up in Express Your I Am. So anyway, I have links for all of that below. You can check that out. And coming up, I believe that I put an ad for it. Whoa, they're coming for me already. All right. Spirits. I see ghosts. Just saying. What was I saying? Squirrel? Silver squirrel. Oh my God. All right, I'm coming back. Lots of places to check me out, lots of places to book. I really only take private clients about 3 days a week. Otherwise, it's classes. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Class. Meditation for Lightworkers class, focusing on the sense gates, sensory clarity, so that as you go into your practice, it's not one big amalgam of a mess. You can really begin to hone each clair, each intuitive arena, so that you can improve your abilities, give more clear and accurate readings and scans, and improve your energy work practice. That's how I did it. Anyway, I wanted to share some of those techniques. So coming up, it's just going to be a 3 or 4 hour class as an intro. And then in another month, probably after the holidays, right? Because 2020 holidays, it's going to be a thing, people. It's going to be a thing. We're just gonna have fun and soak in what we can soak in of the goodness And then we'll come back and we'll do a little bit more work in January, February, March. I'm part of a retreat that's happening in Georgia. So I'll talk more about that as the time approaches. In the meantime, girl, I didn't bring my lemon water. So be it. There's so much to talk about, so much to unpack. As most of you who have known me for a couple of years, and if you're just meeting me now, hi, hi, welcome. I'm an energy geek. I love the technique. I don't always offer the 101 basics in terms of energy work. So many people do that. And I love it. Everything I speak about uses that as a foundation, and I evolve it from there with love, and then talk about those things that arise out of there. So I just want to say that going in. If this is confusing and not what is she talking about, just use the Google Oracle and find some chakra information. Or what I may do is put some links below here, and eventually I'll make my own 101. Market's a little saturated with the 101 stuff. I am HOP. Just saying. I don't know what the O stands for. Ostentatious? Oscillating. Opinion. So, Pinyon Pine. I have that in my beautiful thing here. Making sense. Am I making sense? All right, let's get down to it. So, what we're talking a lot about these days, and have been for the last decade, really, like if we've really been paying attention for the last decade, if you're new to this stuff, you're hearing it a lot these days. We're talking about energetic grids. Energetic grids. So I came upon this 30 years ago, 25 to 30, let's say safely 25 years ago. One of the people I followed, Barbara Ann Brennan, who has her school in Florida, Barbara Ann Brennan School of Healing Arts, I believe. Check her out. She started talking about grid work, different levels. We all know the chakras. There are 7, or you may be working with 12 or 18 now, on upward. They alternate, and I have found this to be true, between some are more energetically gritty looking, patterned, gridded, and others are more formless cloud or liquid colors. All of them have colors at their foundation. And in some ways, I mean, traditionally, okay, so we are going to talk a little bit about chakras, just to be clear. If you're coming from yoga, you look at them as spinning wheels of light or flowers. And that's mostly what the West has adopted in terms of chakras and the chakra system. The chakras emanate energy. They take in, they digest, they emanate out, and that which emanates from it becomes our aura. So the aura comes from not just your chakra system, the major ones, but the minor ones, the meridians, the sen lines, different organs, etc., etc. So third dimensional body, corporeal body, and fourth dimensional, etc., has an emanation and aura. Sometimes, depending on which dimension you are perceiving from, the chakras themselves will look more spherical, or like a torus sphere. A torus sphere. Sometimes they will look like a field, and sometimes I work within each chakra on a person who's receiving from me energy work. The chakras themselves will unpack as a kind of field of information or plane of information. So, what we're talking about these days are different kinds of grids and different kinds of forms that will click into, plug into, in a healthy, happy, supportive, divine love kind of way, click into your personal energetic system. Grids will click into grids. There's one person I follow that I highly recommend you check out. His name is Steve Nobel. He's something of a shamanic alchemist, is what I would call him. Working with all different archetypes and deities and energies, etc., etc. He started working with grids a couple of years ago, probably longer than I knew about. And that's where I first started working with Gaia, the earth, as a spiritual consciousness and presence, having an energetic grid-like structure that is now evolving. We sometimes talk about the central sun, a Christos, a christening of divine light within perceivable reality. Some people call that the Christ grid. So you would have the Gaia grid and the Christ grid. And sometimes there's different divine energies that facilitate this connection. What I've been noticing, and a lot of people have, that the more grid work you do, you'll notice, and we've all noticed over 2019 and 2020, that the grids are shifting as society and everything that we know is shifting and up-leveling, upgrading, purging, and becoming more complete and more divine in its own right. Gaia as a consciousness is doing the same, because we also are Gaia, because we also are elements in a very basic, mundane way of the body, but also in an energetic way. We have those elemental resonances within our energy system and our body. We are of the earth. We are earth. We are Gaia. Our body is sometimes referred to as a deva, a Devic consciousness, an elemental, earth elemental consciousness. And so with all these up-leveling and up-leveling within the grids, the new Gaia grid, and if you go to my personal YouTube page where I have all my meditations and a couple of interviews, I have some meditations where I do work with the crystalline grid of the earth and the gold, white, bright light of the Christos grid as well. So let's take this a step further. What I have been discovering and working with is that in order for these grids to come up, to come in and connect with each other through my heart center or any center, they click best into another gridded structure, another scaffolding, etheric or catheric level or something higher than that of scaffolding. Those are the levels on which scaffolding happens. Other levels as well, but that would unpack way too much. I want to keep it somewhat simple here. I hope I'm doing okay. And so what I've begun to do, what I was noticing when I was doing it through my heart center, is that the grids would come up. The 7th, 8th, 9th dimensional grid from Gaia was still kind of gritty, particularly within the 6th and 7th, and then after that, not so much. Come up into the heart center and kind of disappear and melt and mold into, and the same with the above space grid. And so what I've been practicing with is how can we really engage with this support structure by engaging in creating our own support structure. So what I've been working with is having our fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional, seventh dimensional heart center be very much gridded, so that these grids can hook and click right into it. That creates this structure, this stability within these connections, within which everything can flow. It creates a kind of container, really helpful in the 3D, 4D, and some of the 5D realms as well. And so that's what I wanted to offer. And it kind of brings us, or not kind of, very much brings us back to some of the things I was thinking about 25 years ago, learning about. And now the grids are back in vogue, really, in terms of energy work. And it seems apropos. And I encourage you all to just try this on. I may do meditation video on this, so check my YouTube channel for Love Evolve Energy. The link's below. Bing. Maybe I can do a little bing for you to click on. Just to see what that is. Just to see what that feels like. For me, it feels more stable. It feels better. It feels like I can expand more easily and stabilize more easily if I use a gridded energy system where it's available. So that's what I wanted to offer for this Energy Geek Speak. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. It's what I'm exploring at the moment in terms of technique and structure. I also wanted to offer, we'll see how much I unpack it. Again, if you've been following me for a while, you have heard me say this. So I'll say it again. You can see all the light happening in a particular way here. It's really pretty, isn't it? There are different levels and dimensions of the energy system. And basics in 101, we work with chakras, the basic 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18. Those are the basics that we're working with. There are other dimensions and levels of our energy body. I already spoke about the gridded levels. One of the deeper levels I call, and many people have called, the Hara level. That's a whole video on its own. What I'm finding is that within that, and depending on what you would like to work with in terms of your energy work practice or light worker practice in some way, there are different energetic systems and identities that you can tap into. So I've been working on, and this will evolve. Here, I'm going to show you my notes for it. ELOHIM LOCKBOX. Clarity, for clarity, purpose, downloads, and reconfiguration. So what you begin to notice if you're an energy worker, as the person who is receiving your offering works on themselves and begins to evolve, their energy systems will evolve along with them. And the chakras will take on a more spherical appearance or more field-like appearance. What you can also begin to see is that some chakras begin to loosen, and you can, I'm not sure if the best word, you can unclick them from the system and let them float, and then let them click back in. And when they click back in, so they have that kind of flexibility, they click back in with a little bit more room and spaciousness around them. And so in the lived muggle world, mundane experience becomes a little bit more spacious as well. I've noticed this happening in the solar plexus area, the solar identity, But I've also noticed this in the seventh. We talk about the causal chakra, the pineal gland, the third eye. Um, that area can also sort of dislodge and then come click back in, creating a little bit more spaciousness around there. What you will notice as as these areas kind of loosen, and if you've worked with me before, you've worked with this technique, or you've come to it on your own, that there are layers upon layers. And as these different areas can move out and loosen a bit, there's portals there. There are thresholds and doorways there to, for example, within the solar plexus chakra is also what did I call it over here? Gateway to the cosmic self, cosmic doorway, cosmic consciousness. What I've been working with is a type of elemental energy that is the highest dimensional vibrational element that there is within our known, possibly conceivable universe, cosmos. Elohim, and Elo is specific to me. Most of us have an Elo. Elohim is the plural. Eloh is the singular. Vibration specific to each of us. And I won't reveal mine just now, but I will say that that's what this Elo lockbox is about for your particular or group of Elohs. And it works with so many different techniques, and this it's deep to the chakra system. I'm not sure about the hara line. It's almost as if it runs perhaps parallel to or deep to the hara line. It's a different conception. The hara line very much works with your individual person, soul group, purpose, your purpose as a human here. This Elo has a little bit more of a mission to it. And while it is specific to a human, it's a little bit broader than that. And I'll have to tell you about that next time. I'm really excited about this. And so to say that it overlays is not exactly true. There's a door that can be opened where you find this deeper level to work with this divine elemental energy. Eloh are the builders and creators of the known universe from divine source. They issued out and began the creation process. And so, how do I even want to talk about this? Maybe I'll unpack this picture a little bit later. All I want to say is that if you've been noticing other things happening with your energy system, and it's not like the textbook, that's not what's saying, and you keep trying to squeeze yourself into these other forms, check yourself on that. It may be doing a disservice to where you're actually evolving to, and where your alignment might actually be better served. And so I will say a little bit more about this before I put up the picture. Or maybe I'll do the picture again because it's so cute. I mean, I'm no serious, well, I guess I used to be a serious artist. You can see in the bottom, that's often when I've done meditations, I talk about Gaia's love as divine feminine fire and her heart as a diamond. And so that's what you have at the bottom. And then if you've worked with me, you know that I work with a very wide grounding pillar. Not just a cord, but a thickness to it. And so you see within that the Earth Star chakra. Now what's really interesting about this to me, and maybe I'll stop here for today's Energy Geek Speak, the base chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra, they become, on this level that I'm working on, a composite grounding. And it's as if everything is locked and gridded and vibrant and strong, from Gaia's diamond heart and core, through your grounding, through the earth star, through your three lowest chakras. It becomes a whole, gold, vibrant, full of life force, whole. And from there, the more subtle chakras of the high heart, the zeal chakra or mouth of God chakra back here, and then a couple of different chakras in your head, the pineal gland, deep 2, your third eye, your causal chakra, which is about where my bun is today, the crown chakra. But then there are minor chakras through the eyes, through the ears, mouth, nostrils, upper throat. These are all balancing together and creating this sort of communication zone of communicating out and receiving communication. And there's something about them that really light up. And the crown, you can see in this picture here, really expands. The crown becomes a field. And then it has these two balancing things on either side. Whoop, there we go. If you've done any polarity therapy, I love it. It works very elementally and works with polarities, yin, yang, right, left, sun, moon. Balancing these two balls of polarity, sort of within but outside somewhere. Not they're balancing nodes is the only way I can describe it. Balancing nodes. So that's a whole host of a deeper level, a whole host of different ideas and conceptions about a chakra system. Chakras, these, I just call them chakras for convenience. They're transmutation points. They transmute and they receive and digest and emanate energies. And I'll have to go into a lot more about this stuff, but what I did notice that with all of these things activated, plus the polarities in particular, held open a kind of portal, and a gateway for this greater Elohim energy. I know it's a lot, guys. I know it's a lot. It's crazy, and I'm just talking about technicals now. Really, what I believe in is having an experience and then talking about it. So right now, I'm just talking about it. You may, as I had named some of these things that you may or may not be familiar with, you may have had a little bit of a sensation and experience with, and begin to feel it in your body. So what all of these minor chakras, it's super crazy strong, gridded grounding, becoming Gaia as angelic presence. And then it opens up to receive. So we have that receiving vessel. And then the Elo energy specific to me can pour in. And this, what I got, and I've only practiced this once, really. It came to me as a download like this technique. Let's do it. And I did it, and I was like, whoa, I feel different. As I started working with Elohim energy, I feel different. It's part of my purpose, tapping into this lineage for me. But really, that's what it does. Purpose, clarifying purpose, and reconfiguring my energy system to be within that strong, almost neutral, but very present and loving energy, geared towards manifestation and actions to be taken within the earth, on the earth as I live my life now. This is distinct from what I want to make note of. This is distinct from Christine in terms of her ID point, her hara line, her energy chakra system, her mental body, her emotional body, her pain body, her soul. Soul body is one thing. This is a different kind of purpose that this structure and this technique opens me up to. And I believe it's for everybody that's interested in. So I just wanted to say it a bit. My sense is, because we're working with all these subtle divine energy transmuters, these subtle energies in the body, that it has to do with this gridding and this up-leveling and this evolution of the earth in creating in manifestation as an incarnate being an anchor for these divine energies and divine purposes and expressions. That's my thinking. And there's something that is profoundly, I think that's why the polarity balancing came in. A lot of equanimity is needed to begin the process. Anyway, so that's the goings on. It's a lot. I wonder if there's anything else. Nope. These are this is the original notes I took. And then I had to paint a picture because I had to tell some of my friends who are light workers. Really interesting. If you want to fool around with it before looking at one of my guided meditations, I have so many that I promise to people. I have to begin getting these done. As I'm on the road, I think I'll be able to do it a bit. Practice with Gaia grounding, with the crystalline grid, with her diamond grid, her diamond heart, her fire, her diamond heart, your earth star, and your 3 lower chakras, and letting that become one thing within gold. It could be rose gold. I'm going to have to note that because I was working with rose gold, divine feminine, with grounding and sealing everything. Start with that and just see. Drop everything you know and let it transmute into this thing and just see what it is. Just an exploration. Things I've seen, things are going on. Just saying. All right, so I'll catch you on the flip. And as usual, where are we? Are we still? We're just in the early part of September, so in about 4 weeks, there's going to be a meditation introductory course to a meditation basics in terms of sensory clarity. I just wanted to say that again. Please subscribe if you haven't. Check out the other videos on here. Check me out. Book a session. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, but something just is lighting up in you and is resonating, contact me and we can do a session. And I'll teach you and I'll see what's appropriate for you. All right, you guys, I love you. I love you. Peace out. Go in peace. Go in love. And don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. These are my explorations. Check out what's true for you. Take what makes sense, what resonates, and what doesn't. Save for a rainy day, save for another time, or just move on and say, yep, nope, not for me. I need something else. That's how we have to go on from here. All right, so on that note, evolve within love.